huge. I didn't want to interview him like this close.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes.
So who am I? My name is Mahnoz. Mahnoz John Mahmadova. I'm born and raised in Dushanbe, Tajikistan, a country which is located in the middle of Central Asia. My first language is Tajik and Russian. I also speak a couple more languages.
Which ones?
So I speak Farsi, I speak Turkish, I speak Uzbek, I speak a little bit Azeri, and I speak teeny tiny English. I'm still learning, I have a long way to go, but I'm trying. First of all, let me tell you, how did I started working in the media?
Please.
You know, this idea of kind of moving world into a better place started when I was 12 years old. I became very passionate about to promote these values such as justice, integrity, kindness, humility, you know. And I remember they came to my school, people from TV, back in Tajikistan where I used to live there. So they came to my school and they were looking for MC for kids program. I raised my hand, got selected among a couple hundred kids, and that's how I started my path working on TV. So I remember growing up, so by the time when I graduated from my high school, I already knew what path I'm gonna be taking. I already knew what I'm passionate about it, right? So later on, I graduated, I got my degree in media, I got my degree in international law, my second master's. Yeah, and then that's how I continue working in the media. So now answering your question, why is it difficult?
Yeah.
First of all, I think sometimes it's hard for media people not to take any side when they're delivering some kind of messages. But I think it's a process and we have to learn how to do that. I think as a journalist, as a broadcaster, my responsibility is just only to deliver the message. And then it's up to the viewers to decide which side they wanted to take, or they still can be neutral to this news. And as a Baha'i, of course, I know that I'm a member of a Baha'i community. I'm born and raised in a Baha'i family. As a Baha'i, I think, you know, we do not get involved into political stuff. So the fact that I'm a journalist and I work for media doesn't mean that I have to be involved directly with the political stuff. I just deliver the message, and I do not take any of the sides.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
But that was a tricky question.
Yes, that was a tricky question. So you came from Tajikistan.
I did.
And how long have you been in the United States?
You know, in just a couple of months, it will be almost 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. And I believe I met you about 10 years ago.
Exactly. What a great memory. Yeah.
Well, I know I met you in the United States and now
Yes,
in Tajikistan.
yes. You're right. You're absolutely right. 10 years.
And you work in media in several capacities.
Yes, I do. So I work for, I do a lot of freelancing for different TV stations. I'm a correspondent, news producer for different talk show programs. That's what I do.
Is there any particular piece of it that you enjoy?
Yes, when I work as a, I think from A to Z, from the day one, I have been always passionate about the media work, no matter what I do. I think it's the only profession, because I tried to do different things while living in the US, right? This is the only thing that brings me so much joy. I wake up in the morning, I do not remember a single day saying, oh gosh, there's gonna be another program, or I'm forcing myself to go and do something. I'm extremely passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can recall if there's any specific that I like it. I think this whole process, because I see myself as an instrument serving in this capacity. I think this is a unique opportunity for me as a Mahnoz who can serve to the countrymen. So I do a lot of different cultural reports, like for Tajikistan. Sometimes I do for United States. Sometimes I do for some other countries. But overall, I love it. Does that make sense?
You were just describing to me a little bit about your childhood and how you were pushed to grow and pushed to learn, but maybe not everyone was. And how this prepared you to...
Well, I guess first of all the thanks goes to my parents.
Okay.
It's not me, it's my parents.
You didn't raise yourself. Okay, good news.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I did not raise myself, but I think my parents was always trying to find a balance between courage and how to raise me and my brother, and also difficulties. So even though I consider my family, I cannot say we're a low class or not even a high class, maybe somewhere in the middle. But at the same time, I don't remember that I would tell my parents, oh, I need, for example, I want to buy this, and my dad or my mom would take the money and would say, here, go buy whatever you want, right? So we always would consult if it's something huge that I wanted to purchase, for example. We would always consult and see, why do I need it? And do I need it like for a very short period of time, or if it's something that, and it doesn't matter whatever it is, right? So that's another thing that I actually learned from my family, how to consult together, So we usually have this consultation. Even upon these days, we are living on different parts of the world. I live here, my brother lives in another country, my parents are also somewhere else. But even upon today, if we wanted to do something and we want to basically make a big decision, we would always consult with family. Four of us would find a time, come together, these days on Skype or on Zoom, and we would sit and consult together why is it important for us, So this consultation plays a very important role in my family. I think technology works both sides. So if your relationship was never close in person, technology is not going to bring you closer. If your relationship from the day one was very close, very tight, right? Technology brings you closer and closer, right?
So it's just a tool.
It is a tool, for sure. It is a tool. So it's an instrument that can help people to build this capacity, how to connect, I think another wonderful opportunity for us that we have to think about this when we're using a social media. It's not about how much time we're spending on social media, but it's more about how do we spend that time, So I can spend, let's say, 2 hours on social media, but that 2 hours would be like really beneficial for me. Or I can spend, 2 hours doing literally nothing, scrolling. I think for every person, that sounds good. I think for every person, it works different.
Okay.
To me, it's when I'm spending my time, either I'm doing the research or I'm, preparing for something, or I'm reading something that I can share after that information. Or even when I'm watching something. I personally love to watch, but I always, being a journalist also, I'm always conscious about my time spending on social media. Because I realized when you are sitting in front of the, different kind of tools I don't want to mention because I don't want to promote them more. When you are sitting and if you are not efficient with your time flies like that. People are using social media for different purposes, Some people are there just to connect with other people. Some people are there to get some kind of information. Some people are there just to hang out, because there's nothing else for them to do.
When you were deciding that you wanted to be in media, and it sounds like you were in the Tajikistan equivalent of the Mickey Mouse Club as a child, like, were there difficulties to overcome in this journey? Like, was there anything that was particularly hard about coming to America, like learning a new culture, learning a new language, and now being in media, which is kind of all about the interpretation of culture and language?
You're right. So first of all, the good thing is I started working on TV from a very early age, when I was 12 years old, right? So obviously my life kind of sharpened or built up, structured, right? So whatever I do, the way how I talk, whatever I wear, right? It's kind of sharpened my personality, right? Because I have been always working in the media. But what are the challenges that I have seen working in the media? I guess every profession has their own ups and downs, right? And when you try every time when you're working in the media, and I love to experience different things, right? So it was a moment when I was learning how to do editing, for example. It was very difficult for me because I learned in the beginning how to be a correspondent, right? So in front of the camera. And then they put me, behind the scenes. So I would learn this kind of things. And I was like, what did I do wrong, right? But I'm so grateful to every single person who taught me in my life, who empowered me, people in my profession and outside of my profession. And I have incredible, amazing people, supporters, who empowered me and who were always telling me, Mahnoz, it's hard, but you can do it. I guess every time when I was learning something new, sometimes it was difficult, and I realized why was it difficult. Because it pushes me to the edge, right? It's like you don't want to build that capacity, but you need to, right? And we know that building capacity, it always comes with a pain. Pain and joy is two things that would always live with you, right? So you basically cannot experience joy without the pain or pain without the joy, right? So it always goes hand on hand together. As a member of a Baha'i community, I always feel kind of, enwrapped among the Baha'is and also my friends of the wider society, wider community. And all my life, I was able to meet, up on today, amazing people who would support me if I don't know something, if I'm hesitating, they would teach me. So I felt in love. I felt in love with this culture. Now that I'm living in the US, I felt in love with this culture. I felt in love with the people, with language. That's another thing why I started basically learning more and more English, and kind of practicing that.
So if you love it, it's easy to learn.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love is the only virtue, in fact, that does not have a limit. All other virtues has a limit, but love is the only virtue that does not have a limit.
So the more you love, the more it just happens.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So this is good advice. So if someone is trying to learn a new language or understand the culture, they need to love it.
Love and be passionate about it, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's what worked for me. I don't know how's it gonna work for other people, but that's what worked for me. So, love and passion, yeah. And I guess you also kind of, when you're living in the society, when you are, you can easily adjust yourself to this culture, because you're also meeting people of different religious backgrounds and also, skin colors, and you feel you are connected. You're a human being, you have so much in common. Yes, you may be, your skin color is different, skin tone is different, your eye shape is different. I don't know, your personality might be different, but religious background might be different. But at the end of the day, we're all children of one God.
Yes.
And we have one purpose. This is what I always tell to everyone. I said, to me, the betterment of the world can be accomplished through pure and goodly deeds and through commendable and seemly conduct, right? I strongly believe that this world basically will be moved only when you do good things. Is this answering your question?
So. If you were to give advice to someone that wants to do things in media, what would you tell them?
First of all, the first advice I would tell everyone, no matter how old are you, if you doing any kind of the job, and if you are not passionate about it, don't do it. Simply do not do it. It's either you try to be passionate about what you do, or change it. Do something else. There's always opportunity. Someone told me, Mahnoz, if you don't like something, change it because you are not tree. Seriously, you're not a tree. You can change it. That's one thing. And then another, probably my advice would be, or my suggestion to younger generations, if you're passionate about something, or if you don't, let's say if you want to be a doctor in the future, don't go and work in a Starbucks, for example. Pursue what you wanted to do because it would be way beneficial for you and way helpful for you when you're pursuing what you wanted to do in the future. Because working in some other places that you know from the beginning that you don't want to do it, it's not beneficial. You're just killing a time. Yes, you may make money, but you're just killing a time. Yeah. So do something that would be always helpful to you.
You have to have the desire.
Yes.
You put forward, and it doesn't matter how old you are.
Absolutely no. Yeah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that, if you're 70, you cannot change anything.
Right.
No, you can. Yeah. You can change many things, but it starts with a baby step. Yeah. It may not be like that overnight, but there is always room for opportunity to grow, to learn something new. Do something that you would be basically in love with.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
So, you were telling me a little bit earlier about some of the programming you're doing, and it sounded like it was a little tricky. There was some sneakiness going on, that you were doing a cooking show, but it wasn't a cooking show.
Yes, yes. So, one of the programs, actually it's a series of programs that we just finished taping, and it's almost ready to broadcast. It's a program it's a cooking show, and it's not only about cooking, but it's more about how can we develop those meaningful conversations while we're preparing a meal. And another idea of this cooking show is to teach audience how to use every corner of your house in order to get engaged in a meaningful conversation with your family members, friends, anyone who are with you at that moment in the kitchen. Food is something that also brings people together. Yeah. Food and meaningful discussion can always connect people and lead them to the right path. And then especially when you're preparing a meal together, there's so many amazing topics that can come out of that. It's a good opportunity to be in service for each other. And you can also, if you have a good relationship with these people, you can also invite them and say, hey, come to my house and do something together.
Cook with me.
Yeah, cook with me. Let's do something together.
So this program, though, is not in English.
No, it's not. It's not in English. It's in Farsi. It's in the process of, we finished taping, and it's in the process of being broadcasted sometime soon.
I see.
Yeah. So I do programs in different languages. One of the languages is Farsi, yes. But I also do in some other languages as well.
So when you were learning about doing things in media, what were some of the challenges for you as far as, like, you said being taken backstage to editing, being first a
One of
broadcaster.
those, yes. Or learning how to do shooting, for example. Oh my God! In the beginning, I thought I would never learn it. But then it took me a while. I still cannot recall myself as a professional. No way. I have a long way to go. But I guess it's a process for me to learn how to do it. So I kind of pushed myself to the it's like
But then you grow.
yeah. Like growing is always comes with the pain. If you wanna grow, you have to be prepared for pain, for sure. It's interesting that you keep referring me what are the challenges and what are the difficulties you're
And then you
experiencing.
keep saying, I don't have difficulties.
Yeah. I actually don't. I don't recall a moment that I have had in my
It seems
life.
that you have a mind frame then of this isn't a difficulty, it's just a challenge to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think maybe one of the difficulties that just came to my mind, sometimes when you're working with a whole bunch of people, personalities. So that sometimes could have some difficulties. But I guess, as long as you can overcome that and you can talk to each other, and as long as people are ready to listen.
Okay. So as you said, your family taught you how to consult, and now you've had to use consultation in solving difficulties.
But I'm not an expert, so I don't want to give this impression to viewers. So they would say, oh, she's an expert. No, I'm not at all. I'm still learning how to do that. It takes time, but this is one of the things that my family taught me. And like I said, besides my family, I still have amazing friends, my supporters, whom I really also call like my second family.
Okay.
They are based in the US, outside of the US, It's such a warm feeling when you can pick up your phone and call them anytime during this 24 hours and say, hey, I have these challenges. How do you think I should overcome this?
That helps a lot, having people who support you.
Yeah. I actually found the answer for your question. You keep asking me, what are the difficulties? What are the difficulties? One of the challenges that I have, I do not remember. Like I honestly, I don't remember any I try not to remember difficulties. So if I have challenges, I forget. I literally forget. Like people who knows me, they know.
There's a handful of people in my life that we don't remember what was bad. Nothing bad has ever happened to me.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yes.
Why? Because I don't remember anything bad that's ever happened.
That's true. That's true.
That's funny. There is more of me.
Yeah. That's why we're friends. That's why we're friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So your main project is doing these videos for Baha'i TV.
One part of it, yes. So I collaborated for Baha'i TV for quite a long time, but then I also doing some freelance work for some other TV stations as well.
You're in the U.S. You're telling people that like you became successful because you had this love of the American culture or the American people.
I'm in love with people, let me tell you.
Okay.
I'm in love with people in general.
Yes.
Yeah, I love to build connections.
Okay. How do you do that? What do you do to build connection with people?
I just go and I can easily make connections with, with anyone, I think. I can go to a grocery store and I can start easily conversation.
Sure.
I can go to a restaurant and I can build connection. And I always try to be in touch, to stay in touch with people.
Okay.
So
it's a willingness to be open to meeting new people, to building relationships.
absolutely.
And then staying in touch with people when you build those
Absolutely.
relationships.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that only takes a little time, right? Just a few minutes.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
No. It takes time to meet with the person.
Okay.
Right? It takes really few seconds to meet person, but it may take, quite a while to build a friendship with that person, because I think in order for us to build a friendship, we need to spend time with them, Sometimes you need to share some challenges, difficulties, or joyful moments. And then that's how you can get more and more connected with people.
That's very good.
Yeah. So for those of you who are interested to build connections or friendship with me, you're more than welcome. Should I promote my page?
Of course. Of course.
You're more than welcome to find me on social media. My name is Mahnoz. Last name is John Mahmadova. You can find my Facebook page, my official Facebook page. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll be very happy to build connections with you. Awesome. I try to talk about different things every day, right? Could be a cultural event, could be just the news that I have to deliver, right? But at the end of the day, I always think it's not me who are in the middle of all this news information. I guess it's people. Without you, dear audience, I'm nothing, right? You are the one who helping me to grow. You're the one who's suggesting me. You're the one who sending your positive thoughts and prayers on my way. And I guess that's how we work together, shoulder to shoulder, supporting each other, learning how to build friendship.
Yes. Well, you have a very positive, warm, and bright nature, so I think it's very easy for you to build friendships.
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few moments
Thank
to tell me
you.
about what you do.
Thank you.
And we will definitely include all the information to find you.
So it's an amazing opportunity to get connected with you and your social media account. And I'm looking forward to meet you many more and have this kind of collaboration many more. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
So please like and subscribe.
Yes, it would be wonderful.
Stay in touch.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.